The sun beat down relentlessly on the parched grass of the hillside, where thousands sat in a heavy, restless silence. Stomachs growled in the heat, and the murmurs of the crowd grew louder as the afternoon wore on. Jesus stood on a slight rise, scanning the weary faces of the people who had followed him for miles. He looked at the exhaustion in their eyes and turned to his disciples. They gestured helplessly at the empty, barren landscape, offering no solutions for the thousands who had nothing to eat. Nearby, a young boy clutched a woven basket to his chest. Inside lay only 5 barley loaves and 2 dried fish, wrapped in a rough cloth. The boy stood up, his legs trembling as he approached the group. He held the basket out with both hands, his knuckles turning white from the grip. "This is all I have," the boy whispered, his voice barely audible over the rising wind. He looked at the vast crowd, then back at his tiny offering, feeling the weight of the impossible task before them. Jesus stepped forward and took the basket. He did not look at the small quantity, but instead lifted the bread and fish toward the open sky. He bowed his head, his lips moving in a quiet blessing that seemed to still the air. Then, he began to break the loaves. As he handed pieces to the disciples, a wonder occurred. The bread did not diminish. He reached into the basket again and again, pulling out fresh, warm portions. The disciples moved through the rows of people, passing out food until every person had taken their fill. The sound of chewing replaced the earlier complaints. Children sat on the grass, giggling as they traded pieces of fish with their neighbors, their eyes wide with disbelief. The boy, now energized and beaming with joy, grabbed a heavy basket and began running between the groups, handing out the remaining portions. Jesus walked beside him, placing a gentle hand on his shoulder as they moved through the thousands who were now satisfied and full. By the time the sun dipped below the horizon, the hillside was littered with empty baskets and satisfied people. The boy stood at the edge of the slope, watching the last of the crowd walk away. He looked down at his own empty hands, then back at the baskets, overflowing with leftovers. He realized then that the size of the gift did not matter, only the willingness to offer it. As the stars appeared, he walked down the hill, forever changed.